Let's start with something folks sometimes learn a little later than they'd like. In compliance, doing the work is not the same thing as proving the work. You can have solid security habits, smart people, lockdown systems, maybe even a team that's been careful for years. That's good. That absolutely matters. But assessors are still going to look for a paper trail. They want documented policies, documented plans, and evidence that what you say you do is actually how your organization operates. And honestly, that's where a lot of companies get stuck, not because they're careless, but because writing compliance documentation from scratch is a chore. The old world, and I've seen plenty of it, usually looked like this. Hire a consultant, spend a lot of money, answer a mountain of questions, and then stare at a blank page while trying to turn technical reality into polished policy language. That's not just slow, it's intimidating. Worse, blank page drafting has a way of making reasonable people freeze up. You know what you do. You know your systems. But when the cursor is blinking and the heading says System Security Plan, suddenly everybody gets real quiet. It's like asking someone to write a legal brief and a user manual at the same time. That's a terrible analogy. Let me try again. It's more like being told to document your whole house while the inspector's already in the driveway. That's why the documents page matters so much. This is where compliance writing begins in a practical, manageable way. Not with a blank screen and not with generic boilerplate that sounds fancy but doesn't match your business. The platform uses your real compliance data as context, and it gives you a starting point you can actually work with. On the documents page, you can generate your system security plan and 7 policy types using Claude AI. Those documents are built from the company's real control statuses, so they're tied to what the platform already knows about your environment. In other words, this is not random text generation, it's connected to the rest of the system. So if you've been wondering, where do we actually begin the writing part? This is it. The documents page is where you stop dreading the first draft and start building the documentation set an assessor expects to see.